Hey guys, TravelingKimchi here. So recently I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos asking how it was that I could travel so often, and so today while I was watching Bones I decided to compile a little list about some saving tips that I wanted to share with you for not just when you travel but before you travel too. So I hope this little video helps you with budgeting and saving for your own trip. So the first two tips have to do with before you travel. So when I started to really travel, I was in South Korea. I just got a job as an English teacher and I didn't have any money in my savings account. So one thing I do recommend doing is starting a bank account and getting a savings account. And one thing I do recommend on how you view the savings account is don't view all the money in the savings account as your travel money. Initially, you have to think about not traveling for a little bit and giving yourself a nice safety net. God forbid something happens that you go on this trip and use all your money in your savings account and you break a leg, you miss your flight, something happens, I don't know. But emergencies like this do happen and you do need a safety net of money. So I do recommend having about $3,000 or $4,000 in your savings account before you actually start saving for your trip. So, you know, once you have that $4,000, $5,000, okay, you have $1,000 that can go towards trip, $6,000, you have $2,000 that can go towards a trip, things like that. Emergencies and accidents do happen and you have to account for that. It's not pessimistic, it's just being prepared. The number 2 tip for before you travel is don't spend your money on unnecessary things. Until about a month ago, I still had an iPhone 4, and that phone I had for about maybe 4 or 5 years. And you know why? Because it worked fine. I didn't need to spend $1,000 to get the newest iPhone whatever. You know, $1,000 is maybe a whole plane ticket right there. You know, I don't spend unnecessary money. And even when I did buy my new phone, I think the iPhone 6 had just come out. So the price on the iPhone 5 was knocked down more. So when I did upgrade, I got the iPhone 5. And it was kind of because my menu button on my iPhone 4 was crapping out, so I kind of had to. But, you know, this is a new phone. It works fine. I don't need the iPhone 6. Why am I going to pay $1,000 for that? Another thing is just budget your day-to-day life. Since coming home, I do cook a lot more. I try not to eat out as often. Little things like going to the movies. I check for budget nights. In San Antonio, I think Tuesdays and Wednesdays they have discount tickets or they have dollar popcorn or dollar candy. So things like that, little things you wouldn't think about really do save a buck here and there and really do add up. So I do recommend budget living. So moving forward to actually traveling, my number 3 tip is choosing your country. Now I think in movies we really romanticize traveling to Europe, backpacking across Europe, seeing the Eiffel Tower. The truth is Europe is actually quite expensive. When I started to travel, of course, I was in Korea and I was on a budget. I traveled to cheaper places like Thailand, India, China. You know, in Thailand, do you know how much I paid for a hostel a night? $12. In the Philippines, I ate a meal for $5. In India, I took a tuk-tuk for 30 minutes and paid maybe $5. You know, these are really what I like to call budget countries. You can travel these places on a really low budget. Now, depending where you live, initially the plane might be a little expensive. So if I'm now living in Texas and I want to go to Thailand again, the plane ticket's probably about $1,000. But once I get that $1,000 and I'm there, it really doesn't cost that much money once you're there. However, Europe, on the other hand, is $1,000 to get there. It's blah blah for hostel. It's blah blah for train in between. You know, it gets a little bit expensive. So pick the country that fits your budget, not the other way around. So my number 4 tip for traveling is travel on Tuesdays, travel off season, and travel in twos. So what I mean by travel on Tuesdays is that plane tickets are actually a lot cheaper and actually the plane's a lot less crowded on Tuesdays. I bought a couple of tickets to go on my New York trip, and when I was coming back from Korea, I bought Tuesday tickets. They're actually a lot cheaper. And I had a huge carry-on. There was so much space. Maybe about 1/4 of the plane was full. So my carry-on was an easy fit into the plane. It's just a lot less hassle and it's really great. And the security line moves faster. Travel off-season I think is kind of obvious. You know, when there isn't as much of a crowd, things are cheaper. Hotels are cheaper. Shows are a little bit cheaper. Airplane tickets are definitely cheaper. But another great thing about that is there's less of a crowd. When I went to New York, I traveled on an off-season. There wasn't nearly as many people, and to be honest, I cannot imagine traveling there during the hot time. there was already too many people for my comfort there, so that would be a little bit much. I know it's a little bit hard with work or something to get that off-season holiday, but if you can get it, it's the best time to travel. And of course, traveling in twos. When you travel in twos or more, you can split the taxi bill, you can split a room at a hostel, you can split a meal. So, you know, splitting goes a long way. So traveling in twos, although I think we glorify traveling by yourself and getting to know yourself and getting in touch with your inner whatever, traveling in twos is definitely more budget friendly. And my number 5 tip, speaking of hostels, is hostels. I totally recommend staying in hostels over hotels when you're on a budget. Hostels are a lot cheaper. If you're traveling, you're not going to be spending much of your time in there anyways. You basically just sleep and shower. So why spend all this money on like a really fancy hotel room? Hostels are a lot cheaper, and in some cases, if you're traveling to a really expensive area, like I was to New York, sometimes hostels aren't the cheapest option. I did Airbnb when I was in New York. So definitely explore your options on cheap places to stay. But one thing I do say with a very strong voice is never compromise safety for price. I think some people try to save a buck or two and they stay in a hostel or an Airbnb that's a little bit in a dangerous area. I don't recommend that at all. Spend the extra dollar to keep yourself safe. Don't ever compromise your safety just to keep on budget. Now my next and last tip is student ID. Now this is really true for the US, and for some countries outside of the US also do it. But a lot of places like museums, national landmarks, national parks do offer student discounts. So if you do have a student ID, you might be taking it out, you know, I don't need this to travel, why would I need it to travel? Go ahead and take it with you. You might be surprised about some of the places that do offer a student discount. And I know it's only like maybe $3 or $4, but that is almost a meal right there. That's half a meal in the US right there. So definitely take it. I got a student discount going to a museum in Japan. So you never know where you might get this discount, and it really does come in handy. So other than that, just do your research and be prepared. There are a lot of places that offer discount night, 2-for-1 night, or a free night. So if you do your research, you can definitely save a buck or two there. I hope these tips help you in planning your own trip, and happy travels. This is The Traveling Kimchi. Bye!